The company's annual party was supposed to be a night of celebration, a time to unwind, share laughs, and forget about the daily grind. I had worked hard that year, leading a major project that brought in record profits. My boss, Richard, had personally invited me, saying, "You've earned this one, Mark. Bring your wife. I want to finally meet the woman behind your success." I was proud, maybe even a little excited. My wife Claire spent the whole afternoon getting ready, glowing in a silver dress that turned every head when we walked in. But I didn't know that before the night ended, that same glow would turn into humiliation and anger that I couldn't contain. The party was lively, full of music, laughter, and the clinking of champagne glasses. I mingled with co-workers, introduced Claire around, and watched as she charmed everyone she met. She had that kind of presence. Magnetic, confident, effortlessly beautiful. I felt lucky. But as the night wore on, I began to notice something unsettling. Claire had drifted away from me, standing near the bar, laughing a little too freely. And next to her, my boss, Richard, the man who'd built his reputation on charisma and charm, with a reputation for flirting that everyone pretended not to see. At first, I brushed it off. Maybe they were just chatting. But when I caught sight of her leaning in close, her hand lightly touching his arm as she laughed, my stomach twisted. His eyes lingered on her far too long, and she didn't seem to mind. I tried to keep calm to convince myself I was misreading things. But then I saw her take a sip from his drink, smiling in that teasing, familiar way she once reserved only for me. My hands clenched into fists. It wasn't just disrespect. It was betrayal right there in front of everyone. I started walking toward them, my pulse pounding in my ears. Before I could speak, I heard Richard chuckle and say, "Your husband's a lucky man, but I have to admit, he's got competition tonight." Claire laughed softly, pretending to protest. "Oh, stop," she said. But her tone wasn't one of rejection. It was playful. That was it. I stepped forward and said, "Funny thing about competition, Richard. Sometimes the other guy doesn't play fair." The conversation stopped cold. Claire's face pulled. Richard turned, smirking slightly. "Mark, we were just having some fun. Don't take it so seriously." "Fun," I repeated, my voice low. "You're flirting with my wife at my company's party, and you call it fun." A few people nearby turned to look, sensing tension. Richard raised his hands casually. "Relax, man. It's harmless. She's a beautiful woman. Anyone would notice." He grinned at her again, and that smirk, that smug, disrespectful smirk, snapped something inside me. Before I could stop myself, I swung. My fist connected squarely with his jaw. The impact echoed through the room like a gunshot. The music stopped. Glasses froze mid-air. Richard stumbled backward, hitting the edge of the bar, eyes wide with shock. "What the hell, Mark?" he yelled, rubbing his jaw. Claire screamed, grabbing my arm. "Mark, stop. What are you doing?" I shook her hand off, my voice steady but cold. "Teaching your fun friend some boundaries." Richard lunged at me, grabbing my collar, but I pushed him off, sending him crashing into a table. The crowd gasped. A few co-workers rushed forward to separate us, but by then the damage, physical and emotional, was done. I looked around. Dozens of eyes were on us. Wide, judgmental, whispering. I could see my career flashing before my eyes, but at that moment, I didn't care. I turned to Claire, who was trembling. "You humiliated me," I said quietly in front of everyone. "You think I wouldn't notice, you think I wouldn't care." Her lips quivered. "Mark, it wasn't like that then." "What was it like?" I snapped. "You were smiling, laughing, letting him touch you." My boss, Claire, the man I work for. Security and a few managers escorted Richard to the back to get checked out. My supervisor pulled me aside, trying to calm me down. "Mark, you need to go home," he said. This doesn't look good." I nodded, realizing the mess I'd created, or rather the one I'd been forced into. Claire followed me out, trying to grab my arm, but I pulled away. "Don't," I said sharply. "Don't say a word." We drove home in silence. Every mile felt like a mile further from the life I once knew. When we got home, she broke down. "I'm sorry, Mark. I didn't mean to flirt. It just got out of hand." I was just trying to be friendly. I looked at her exhausted. Friendly doesn't involve touching another man's arm or drinking from his glass, I said coldly. And it sure as hell doesn't happen in front of your husband. She sobbed, reaching for me. But I turned away. You didn't just embarrass me, I said quietly. You made me look like a fool. To my boss, to my co-workers, to everyone. The next morning, I went to the office expecting the worst. Richard was there, a bruise on his jaw, a smirk still on his lips. He called me into his office. You've got fire. I'll give you that, he said. You embarrass me in front of everyone, but I'll let it go if you apologize. I met his gaze and smiled faintly. No, I said. I'm done working for a man who doesn't respect boundaries or marriages. I handed him my resignation letter, turned, and walked out without another word. It's been 6 months since that night. I started my own consulting firm. Smaller, quieter, but honest. Claire and I are separated now, living in different worlds. People still talk about that party the night Mark knocked out his boss. Some think I ruined my career. I think I saved my dignity because sometimes one punch isn't just about anger. It's about drawing a line, a clear final line between being disrespected and standing up for.